You know when you're dating someone and it's like I feel like I'm a fetish. Like I don't know if you're into me or you're into this fetish, and then you see that they have a pattern, and then it's like, but I never really thought so deep into it. But I know when I do feel uncomfortable.
Black men's and black women's bodies are seen not just as commodities to be utilized for profit, but are literally understood as things to consume. Every black person understands that in our bones. We know when someone is looking at us as if they are going to eat us.
Yeah.
And that's because that is the experience, right? That is how black people are looked at, not just as things to be used, but as things to eat, to grab, to hold, to dominate, to fuck, to disregard. I would love to be part of a conversation about how we as black people understand our bodies and return to them, and understand our beauty and our worth outside of the cannibalistic, acquisitive gaze of white people. How I, as a queer black man, might learn to prioritize how I feel about myself and not my sexual serviceability to someone else's desires.
The male gaze, right? Why are we operating so heavily in what the male gaze is interested in? I don't care what men think. Maybe that's probably why I'm single, but I don't care. I choose to be single, so there's that too. But I just have no desire to participate in the convention.
I'm going to challenge you.
Please do challenge me.
No, and the challenge is not against what you're saying. I think the challenge I'm going to ask you is for women who do care. What do you have to say to them?
Well, I ask them, why do they care?
I think it's impossible to not care.
I think people care because they want to be accepted. Some people really want companionship, and this is their easy way to get it without doing the work.
By
right?
altering your appearance, right? Okay,
Exactly.
So that to me results in dysfunctional relationships, and then you're not actually getting to the core of like partnership. So I think this conversation's going somewhere else, but...
Question for anyone who was getting mad at me because I said plastic surgery isn't feminist. Is this what feminism looks like to you? Girls getting their period and going under the knife, getting BBLs in the same decade? Is this what liberation looks like to you? Because I have to be honest with you, this culture, that's the world we're creating. That's the world we're creating. The way you engage with beauty standards is the way the next generation will engage with beauty standards, and the one after that. So when do we really get to be liberated from the male gaze? Because right now we've rebranded it as our own. We've said, hey, you're a woman, doing whatever you want is feminism, as if women are inherently feminist, which they're not, and forgotten that our internalized misogyny will last generations and will cause 18-year-olds to feel that BBLs are compulsory because that's all they're seeing. But that's feminism to you?
And now, for the moment all you motherfuckers been waiting for. All my flip mode niggas rise and await for the most powerful event to occur. The coming!
Kings, unfortunately, we have another teachable moment here. Another teachable motherfucking moment here. I want to say this right at the beginning. There is no negotiating with my dick. Did I make myself clear about that shit? There is no negotiating with my motherfucking dick. My dick is like the Terminator. It can't be talked to, reasoned with, or bribed. It likes what it likes, regardless of what anyone thinks. Your agenda, your feelings, and your naughty bits have nothing to do with my dick. It likes what it likes. Got that? There's an aggressive push to change everyone into these androgynous beings that are interchangeable with no individuality, and no worth individually as an ethnic collective. Obviously, I was triggered by the clips presented before the jump, but thought I'd skew somewhat political here because basically I'm sick and tired of this nonsense, especially since it involves the wholesale use of black women and select ethnic members of the alternative community to push this narrative. In layman's terms, I feel like the current society is trying to force people to eat a plate of shit and say it's chocolate ice cream. I say fuck that noise. Now, as to the clips in question, I want to reiterate there is no negotiating with my dick, which means I do not want to F a man no matter how the outside is presented, and I do not want to F an ugly-ass female with a rot-stank-ass attitude who is verbally, physically, and spiritually abusive. You can put all the mouth-frothing anti-male Dora Milaje-looking bald ass, semi-bald butch studs in whatever stages of personal development you want in front of me. I ain't fucking them. I don't want a female derivative. I want a goddamn woman. A woman who doesn't arrive at my front door with a duffel bag full of shit. You heard talk of the supposed male gaze. Personally, I'm tired of hearing that shit. I'm tired of this bullshit where women are trying to tell you that what you like makes you some kind of fucking oppressor when this has been established by some of their own rug-munching so-called academics. If that shit is true, then it runs hand in hand with women's incessant opioid crackhead heroin addict needs for validation. Maybe next time some wet behind the ears fee-fail college students start spouting off that crap, you point that out to her and tell her to kick rocks. Challenge the bitch to delete all her social media accounts and watch that faux intellectual nutbag spaz the fuck out. You are not going to shame me into being into ugly bitches. You're not going to shame me into being into grossly overweight and fat bum bitches. And for context, I'm talking about motherfuckers that have grown so fat, they have divested from the human shape. You're not going to gaslight me into being with retired street bust downs with shitty ass off the chart toxic entitlement. A transactional hooker mentality and a gaggle of illegitimate children they refuse to parent or allow to be properly parented. I ain't running no old folks' homes for decommissioned 304s. Alternately, I do not have the need or desire to subject myself to copious amounts of verbal and spiritual abuse just to be in proximity to a box. So, no, I will not be moving in with Keisha Bumkeisha and motherfucking Tasha just because they cracked dad ass after last call at the local pub. So don't worry about my male gaze, and I won't worry about your undead fucking need for validation at all costs, my bitches and niggas. You squirrels can go looking for nuts someplace else, and I'll hold mine, okay? SYSBM equals save yourself, black men.
This message has been paid for by the Dusties. Yes, the niggas you love to hate.